What is up, everyone? I'm coming on here for a couple of plays for today. I got a very exciting video today because World Cup lines are starting to come out. Canadian football lines are starting to come out, and we will get into that in today's video. But first, we have a jersey giveaway to do, guys. Signed SGA jersey. If you guys do not know what I'm giving away, this jersey is a signed finals SGA jersey. Obviously, Thunder out of the playoffs now, but still, this is the signed jersey from their 2025 or 2024, I guess, playoff run here and their finals appearance. All right, so let's go ahead and do this jersey giveaway. Again, I give away jerseys pretty much every month on this channel. All you have to do is like, comment, subscribe every single day to enter, and these are all of the entries in this giveaway. All right, there's like 300 of them, so let's spin it. Good luck, everyone, and let's see who goes ahead and wins this jersey right here. And yeah, let's go ahead and see. All right, D-Rock PhD, congratulations. You are the winner of this signed jersey. So go ahead and text me. Go ahead and text me proof of your YouTube channel or something like that. And I will go ahead and get you my, go ahead and get me your address, and I'll go ahead and send this jersey to you. So congratulations. And let's go ahead and comment down below what jersey you want me to give away this month, guys. So thank you guys for participating in the giveaway, and congrats to D-Rock PhD. All right, so let's get into today's plays pretty shortly here, and let's talk about this week and stuff. So I've been very vocal about it being a slower week for us, right? It's been a slow week. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, all slower days for us. And it's very simple. Why, guys? Very simple reason is because we don't have soccer on the board. We're waiting for World Cup lines to be out, okay? And it's kind of like that song, by Kenny Rogers, like you got to know when to hold them, know when to fold them. It's the same thing here, right? We're slowing it down a little bit to attack later on, right? There's going to be more opportunity in the future for us. So we're slowing it a bit down. We're preserving our bankroll a little bit. And then once these lines come out, we're going to attack like crazy. And we're getting very close. And I'm going to show you guys, because if you go over to World Cup, which is over here, and you look at the absolute moneymaker, which is pass attempts, all right? You're going to see there's 2 pass attempt lines on the board, so it's nothing crazy right now. But this is what PrizePicks normally do. They normally kind of release like a tab like this, and then at some point, it's probably going to be today, they're just going to spit, like everything's going to come out, right? It's going to be like all Thursday, Friday games or something like that, and I'm going to just hammer home as many entries as possible. I'm probably going to be, looking at PrizePicks for like 10 hours today. I'm very prepared for it. I got my coffees next to me and everything like that, and I'm ready for a ton of lines to be coming out on the board, all right? So get ready for that. Again, we've slowed down a little bit to then hammer out a lot of World Cup and a lot of pass attempts, because soccer has been so amazing for us, and it's going to keep being amazing for us throughout the summer, okay? I will also say, you guys might have saw it because I was looking at these lines a lot this morning, is that Canadian football is out. I was a little bit worried that we weren't going to have it out, but Canadian football, absolutely amazing stuff. Football is my baby, right? This is why I started it. This is why I started this channel. 2023, guys, football season, I made so much money on PrizePicks using a correlated betting strategy, which I still use to this day. And I created this channel around November and December, and I wanted to spread the word. I wanted to give you guys entries that I was taking, and that is the sole reason why I started this channel, because I was making money using football correlation. I'm going to explain what that is in today's video. And you can actually go back on this channel. What's crazy to me, guys, is I have 1,000 videos on this channel, right? So if you ever need to go back and watch a video, or be like, what did this guy do on this day or something like that, it's crazy, because I have 1,000 videos on this channel, and you'll see some of my oldest videos. What am I talking about, right? I am talking about NFL correlation, right? And of course, there's an ad right here, but you're going to see that I'm talking about, Dak Prescott, I'm talking about Trevor Lawrence, I'm talking about all of these people that have a correlated way together. So that's going to be them going over pass yards, for example. That's going to be, his receiver, Brandon Cooks, going over, or DK Metcalf going over Geno Smith. And again, this was in 2023, November 29th, 2023 was, one of the first videos on this channel here. And you guys can scroll down, you can see back in 2023 and early 2024, what am I talking about, right? I'm talking about football, right? NFL and college football. And then I'm talking about League of Legends, Counter-Strike, Valorant, Dota, which is still what I'm betting on. And then we have eSports, we have League of Legends, we have League of Legends, we have, League of Legends, Counter-Strike, League of Legends right here. It's the same stuff, guys. This is what I try to get across. Valorant, I've been betting on this stuff for 2 years, and we're up 1,000 units because of what we do over this channel. And again, the ups and downs of the day, we might have a bad day, we might have a good day, but I'm telling you guys, this is the strategy that works. And I put this into ChatGPT yesterday, I put in all my past bets, and I was like, give me the chance that I'm not a profitable sports bettor. And it gave me a Z-score of 6.2. And you can look up what a Z-score of 6.2 means, but it pretty much means that I have a 99.99999. It's like 6 nines, 7% chance of being a profitable sports bettor. And in other words, that means I have like a 0.0000002% or chance or whatever that I'm not profitable. And all of this has just been a ruse, and all of this has just been blind luck that I've somehow been graced with, all right? Which is like literally like a 1 in 10 billion chance or something crazy like that. Actually, I think it was way more than that. I think it was like 1 quadrillion chance or some crazy number like that, right? Like I'd literally have to be like the chosen one of the chosen one of the chosen one of the chosen one for this all to just been like blind luck, which, it seems like there's some people out there in the comments that do think that, right? Which is crazy. Again, going over yesterday, there's really, again, not that much to go over. We have this, which was, I actually went over this yesterday already, and I told you guys not to be the bearer of bad news, yada, yada, but this pick does look like it's going over together. I'm going to be honest, this pick, I just looked at the second game. These guys both got 7 kills because they had a crazy good win, and this game's probably going to go over together too. So, unfortunate stuff in League of Legends, guys. This is what happens in esports, and this is what happens in correlation. You're going to have guys go over together or under together based on if they win or lose, right? So, these guys are actually on the other team, and these guys are probably going to go under together because this is the other team that has lost a couple of games here. So I also want to tell you guys that a couple of days ago, Ronald Acuna Jr. missed, and I didn't talk about it. And again, I'm not gonna. I try to come on here and try to go over absolutely everything. I've been doing this for two and a half years, and I'm not gonna I physically can't show everything every single day, right? I'm going to eventually, forget something or whatever. The reason why I forget to go over Acuna Jr. is because on PrizePicks, it shows open and past entries. That's how it looks like on PrizePicks. If you look at your entries, it looks open and past. And this entry was open still because of League of Legends, but Acuna had already missed. And when I screenshot my entries, I look at my past tab normally, and I'm just like, okay, here's the entries that hit, here's the entries that miss. And I do this every single day. Guys, better hit right here for 3-man, and then right here, unfortunately missed. Bob actually bumped down to 12.5. I really like this line. This is probably my favorite pick of the day, but Bob bumps down to 12.5. He ends up getting 21, and then Sleeper has not been doing so well, and I'll get into that. But I want to tell you guys that, if there's someone's like, oh, bro, you didn't go over the Acuna play that missed really badly and everything, and it's like, again, I really want to reemphasize the fact, it's so funny when people say that when I have 1,000 videos on this channel literally going over things every single day. I go over my hits, my misses, how well we have done. I've lost, how much I've lost, how much I've won. Here's my profit, here's my loss, every single video. So I hope you guys understand why I get a little bit animated about this stuff when I've been doing this every single day of my life for the past 1,000 days. And you could go back to this, what's this day? This is, this is I don't know what days are this, guys. I can't see the date here. But this is okay. This was November 27th, 2024. So if you're really curious on how I did on November 27th, 2024, or November 28th, 2024, or November 29th, 2024, yeah, here it is. Look at these videos. And again, in these videos, I'm going over the same stuff. How we did on the day. What's my profit loss? How you could have done. How we did on Sleeper. How we did on the discounts. How every single day, right? So it's so funny to me that people think I'm trying to hide something when it's just like everything is out in front of you. My past 2.5 years, 1,000 days of sports betting has been posted on the internet right here. All you have to do is scroll down your phone, click my channel, and you could go to any single day and you could see how we've done. And again, I urge you, I'm begging you guys to track your bets. You guys need to track your bets if you want to be profitable. So if you don't believe me, track your bets and see how we've done, and you're going to see that we're going to profit long term, all right? So everything's tracked here. You're going to see that I've lost 800 plus times this year, and I've won 224 times, all right? Why is that the case? Because on PrizePicks and Underdog, I play a lot of 3-man and 4-man entries. You're not supposed to hit very many of these. So guys, I'm very used to losing. I've lost 800 times this year. That on average, how many days has it been this year? Maybe like 100, maybe like 120, 150. That means on average, I'm losing like 5 times a day. All right. So I am very accustomed to losing. I know losses happen. I wake up and I lose 3 times or 4 times, every day pretty much. All right. So losses are a huge part of this, right? I talked about this yesterday. If you were a bettor in an alternate universe and you win 100 and 900 and all you played were 4-man 10x entries, and all you played, like you played 1,000 10x entries and you won 100 and 900, and this is what you did. You would break even. This is a break even record right here, okay? Where you won 100 10x's and you've lost 900 10x's. This is completely break even. Your profit would say 0. That is the math behind that right there. Now, this person in this alternate universe, what do you think his day-to-day consists of? It consists of losing 9x the amount of times than winning, right? And what does our day-to-day consist of? It consists of losing, like, you have 200, 800. This is losing like 4 times the amount that we win, right? So this is 9 times the amount of losses. This is 4 times the amount of losses, all right? So this person right here would be completely break even. He'd actually be in the top 3 to 5% of sports bettors by having a record like this, okay? So again, losses don't really matter at the end of the day. All that matters is that we profit, okay? So have that in your head, guys. You got to treat this like a professional. I don't know what to say. All right, so this is the play on better today. I will say this was actually my initial play, but then I realized after I kind of recorded it already and I talked about it, and I realized that this is starting at noon, which noon is like right now. So that's my bad. I shouldn't have sent that out. I didn't actually send it out yet. I took it. So I'm just going to take this as craze now. I'm going to count this as craze to go under 55 kills. I like this one in Call of Duty. Is happening on Friday, 5 p.m., so everyone should get this in. And then on NHL, guys, I don't talk about NHL very much. I'm not an NHL bettor, right? I've talked about MLB, I've talked about Valorant, Counter-Strike, League of Legends. I've talked about soccer, obviously, WNBA. I don't talk about NHL. I'm not an NHL person. I haven't watched one game of the NHL Stanley Cup, almost called the World Series. But I know for a fact that this is an incredible, incredible play. Why? Because his line is normally 2.5, and right now he's discounted down to 1.5. That's incredible. That is a 40% discount. It's like you walking into Walmart or Target and them having exactly what you want discounted down by 40%. We're going to take that all day of the week, all right? A beautiful discount on Better. They have 2 to 3 of these a day. They have 2 to 3 of these a day on Sleeper. Sometimes Better is going to outperform Sleeper. Sometimes Sleeper is going to outperform Better. Sometimes they're both going to be performing. Sometimes they're both going to be underperforming. But they have Taco Tuesday every day on Better. It's as simple as that. And you need to be taking these discounts on Better, right? So I showed you guys. I literally think today I've talked about wins that we had, which were over here. I think I've talked about this for 10 seconds in today's video, okay? So extremely transparent on this channel. I'm as transparent as you can get. I have no problem telling you guys that we have multiple losses in a day like this, okay? And what's funny is that we're going to eventually go up and have a 20, 25, 20, 30 unit day. And some people that are going to, hate in the comments, it's just going to be radio silence by those people. And it's going to be really, really funny to see that happen. So let's get into today's pick, all right? Now, we have Canadian football. We have football pretty much is what I want to say. Football has now started. The reason football started is because this Canadian football season, goes all the way to November, okay? So obviously, NFL and college football is going to be starting by August. So we really do not have one weekend where we are not going to have football again. This is the first day of the football season. Thursday, there is the Montreal Canadiens versus the Hamilton Wildcats or something like that. But this is the first day of football season. And the only thing that's different about Canadian football and the NFL and college football, it's very, very minor things. It's like they pass more, they can run before they run routes, and there's kind of like a shot clock instead of like a traditional play clock. And then 2 is that they only have like 10 teams. So there's only like 5 games a week. So there's normally a game on Thursday, a game on Friday, and then about 2 to 3 games on Saturday. So it's lower volume. College football, for example, will have like 50 games across all of these different schools. But good, great correlation. Football is football. You're going to have receivers. You're going to have quarterbacks, all right? Now, with this being said, the typical correlation that we run on football is something like this, all right? If this would load, right? We're going to run something like this, and I'm going to take this duo later today in the VIP, okay? So get ready for that. We're going to take someone like the quarterback of Montreal and the receiver of Montreal, and we're going to take them over together. Why? Or under together. Because if Davis Alexander has a really good game and he throws for 350 yards, then one of his receivers is probably going to get 70, 80 yards. If Davis Alexander throws for, let's just say, 100 yards, then his receiver is going to not have very many receiving yards. Now, with that being said, let me show you guys what I mean and why this is so important, right? Now, you'll see that PrizePicks bumps these things down because they know about correlation, right? So they'll bump this down to a 2.3x. Normally, we should be getting a 3x for this. Now, that being said, we can pair it up with something like these pass attempts. And I'm not saying to take this line, guys. I'm not saying to take this line, but I'm just saying this is what we're going to do in theory. Now, I get it. It's goalkeeper attacker, so it's not the most correlated thing in the world. But for example, if we took both of these guys under together, you're going to see that we get a 9x for this. Okay, so we get an extremely correlated play up here for the Montreal. This Montreal team right here. And then we have a very correlated play right here for soccer, okay? And I'm going to be sending a play similar to this out to the VIP, and we get a full 9x for this, okay? An amazing 9x with a full correlated duo right here in the same team that are both play for South Africa and the same team correlation for Montreal, okay? So this is a very, very good play that I would like to take on the VIP. The only thing is that this duo, I'd like to see more, like I want to see more lines out first because I don't just want to take the first thing in front of me, okay? Because we want to be picky when we're sports betting. Now, with that being said, another thing that you can do, and I'm giving you guys a ton of value here, you got to listen closely. Another thing you can do is you can take one receiver on one team. So this is the number one receiver on this team, sorry, I can't think about what these guys' names are. I don't know Canada very well, and I apologize about that. These guys are on Hamilton, okay? So you have the number one receiver, you have receiver number one on Hamilton, and then you actually have this guy's like the receiver number 3. But a lot of these teams have 2 or 3 really good receivers that will get a lot of receiving yards. And what you can do is you can take one player to either go over and one player to go under, or the opposite. You could take one player to go under and one player to go over. Now, in theory, how this works is that if one receiver, let's just say, gets 100 yards, that's going to be taking away receiving yards from the other receiver. So they're actually inverse correlated. In another sense, you can think about them negatively correlated. Negatively correlated would be the proper way to explain these things in statistics. They're negatively correlated. So as one player's receiving yard goes up, the other's player's receiving yards total is likely to go down. Okay, so they shift kind of like this. Normally, we're looking for players to go over together or under together. So they're going to shift together. But in this case, we're looking for players that go one over and one under, or one over and one under like this. So we can do the same thing. It's just, think about it just as levers in a system, right? If one guy goes over, the other's likely to go under. And I actually put this into AI, and AI is very helpful in just getting a lot of data down, okay? You can really see that AI can comb through a lot of data. So I recommend using AI, specifically not for betting, but for sorting through a mass amount of data. For example, here's really good examples, right? You have Lawler getting 113 yards in this game. Giddens gets 0. You have Lawler getting 87 yards in this game. Giddens gets 1, okay? And then the inverse of this, guys, you have Giddens getting 66 yards. Lawler gets 34. You have Giddens getting 60 yards. Lawler gets 46, okay? So in my case, what I am personally going to do, and this is the play that I am personally playing, is Lawler to go under receiving yards and Giddens to go over receiving yards, because I like Giddens' line more. I think his line should be in the 50s, and I think Lawler's line should be in the low 80s to high 70s, okay? Now, with that being said, Lawler is definitively the best receiver on this team, okay? It's almost like, if you think about like the Cowboys or something, it's almost like we're taking CeeDee Lamb under and we're taking Jake Ferguson over or something like that, right? Like we're taking the tight end over and we're taking CeeDee Lamb under. So this is inverse correlated, right? Now, going on with that Cowboys example, you will see, and this actually more pertains to the example that I showed with taking a guy like this and a guy like this. This is how NFL and college football and Canadian football correlation work, right? This is Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb last year. So this is their statistics last year. You will see Dak Prescott, 70 yards, right? I kind of said it as a joke. What if this guy gets 100 yards? This guy's probably going to go under. But you will see a very good NFL quarterback, Dak Prescott, 70 yards against the Giants. CeeDee Lamb, 4 yards, okay? Now, this is inverse, so this one just was a miss. Both go under here, so 244, 51, under, over, almost 300 yards by Dak, 111 by CeeDee Lamb, way over 300, so you'll see way over 100, way over 300, way over 100, way over 300, way over 75 here. Over, this is inverse, I guess, but you'll see CeeDee's pretty close. I mean, he's like 4 yards away. This is under, this is over, so this one's inverse, and then you'll see again, under, over, inverse, okay? So again, a lot of times these quarterback receivers are going to go over together, and again, this is quarterback and receiver, and then a lot of times receiver 1 is going to go either over, and receiver 2 is going to go under. Okay, or you could think about this as receiver 3 or receiver 4, yada, 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 or the inverse, right, where receiver 1 actually goes under and receiver 2 or 3 goes over, right? So this could be under and this could be over, right? And these are just all game situations, right? If the quarterback is favoring, for example, the quarterback is favoring CeeDee Lamb versus George Pickens, CeeDee's going to get a lot of yards, George Pickens is not. If he's favoring George Pickens over CeeDee, the opposite could be true. And it's the same thing in Canadian football. Doesn't matter if you've never heard about these guys before. This guy right here is the receiver 1. This guy right here is the receiver 2. And the correlation and the concept still stands, okay? Now, I'm giving you guys a lot of value in today's video, okay? So leave a like on today's video. Now, another thing that why I love football, and this is what we're also going to attack, is you can do stuff like this, okay? Stuff like this, or stuff even like, yeah, there's so much you can do, man. But let's just keep it simple, and I'm going to go over this very quickly, right? So we have a quarterback, we have a receiver over, and then we have the running back on the same team on Montreal to go under, and then you have a running back on Hamilton, the opposite team, to go over. So for example, if Montreal is behind in this game, what do you think is going to happen? They're going to be passing a lot. We've all seen a football game. What happens when they're behind in a game? They pass. You pass to try to get back in the game. So this is a full game state 4-man that you're getting an 8.5x for. And I've been vocal that 8.5x or higher is what I like to hit for these lines here. Now, you have a receiver quarterback to go over. The more that they're passing, the more likely that these guys are going to go over together. And then the more likely that the running back is going to get less rushing yards, right? Because a lot of times the running back, why they run is because they're trying to end the game. So if they're passing, they're obviously not running. So that's very correlated as a 3-man here. And then you have the other team, Hamilton, winning the game, right? If you have one team losing the game, you're going to have Hamilton winning the game. This guy is going to get more rushing yards because he's going to be trying to end the game rushing-wise, right? So how it works in football, if you win the game, you're going to run more. If you lose the game, you're going to pass more to try to get back into the game. And you have to throw some deep balls, some Hail Mary, stuff like that, okay? This stuff gets so deep. I'm telling you guys, I've been doing this for 2.5 years. I've thought for thousands of hours about this stuff, okay? And I'm an expert on this stuff, okay? I'm not going to say I'm the number one sports bettor, yada yada, but guys, there's a reason why we've gone up 250, 300 units every single football season, and it's because of this. It's because of this correlation. PrizePicks has no idea what they are doing with stuff like this. It's crazy. They also have no idea what they're doing in League of Legends. I'm going to go over this very quickly. It's what we always go over, guys. You have Los versus Furia. Furia is favored. This guy's team is on Los. He has 37% chance to win. That means he's probably going to win about 1-0 games because Furia is much better than them, okay? Now we have Feisty at under 9, okay? This is all the times where he has only won one game. He goes under a lot of times because when he wins, he goes over a lot of the time, okay? So if we look at the games where he has won the games, you're going to see he's going over most of the time, and then when he's won every single map, look at what happens when he has won 3 straight games. So he's gone 3-0. He wins every single map. But again, they are not favored. So if they're not favored, they're most likely going to be on the losing side of things, right? Here's the game where he's lost 3 games in a row. It was in 2024, so it was really far away, but it still stands, right? 3 kills, 1 kills, 2 kills. And if we compare this to the game where he's won every single map, you're going to see 3 kills, 8 kills, 3 kills, 5 kills, 4 kills, 6 kills, 5 kills, 6 kills, 4 kills, 6 kills, 5 kills, 12 kills, right? So when you win, you're going to get a lot of kills. When you lose, you're going to get less kills. They are not favored, so they're likely to lose the game. They're likely to only win 1-0 maps, causing him to most likely go under in this game. Very simple stuff, guys. I talk about it every single day. More losses equals less kills. More wins equals less kills. Hopefully, if you watch this demonstration, something clicked in your head. Okay, this is what happened to me in early 2023, at about August 2023. It clicked in my head, and I was like, you know what? If Dak Prescott throws for 400 yards, it's very likely that CeeDee Lamb is going to go over his thing. If Joe Burrow throws for 400 yards, it's very likely that Jamar Chase is going to get 100 plus yards. If Joe Burrow throws for 100 yards, it's very likely that Jamar Chase is maybe going to get 30 yards. This is correlation, guys. This is what I preach. This is what I get so passionate about. And this is the strategy you can use to make thousands of units, not thousands of units, hundreds of units a year. We made 600 units in 2024. We did 350 units in 2025. I'm aiming for 500 units this year, so right in between that. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully you guys learned something. I'm going to make a full NFL football video at some point where I go over Canadian football lines. I appreciate you guys. Join the VIP with NOVIG today. And that is going to be that. That's going to be the video today. If you can join with NOVIG, you'll get $1. All you have to do is a $1 deposit on NOVIG with my code detective. 1 month free of the VIP. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in tomorrow's video.